r/AskReddit, what inanimate object do you not get along with? Printers. They can sense your fear. As a former id support guy, I can categorically state that all printers are angry robots that hate humans. My home one is a color laser that I got for £15 from a charity shop. Hopefully the fact that it's an abandoned one that I rescued should mean it's grateful for being rehomed and less angry. Printers aren't inanimate. They have souls. Dark, evil, twisted souls. I actually don't understand that when you look at all the other technology that people use and how convenient and seamless they have become. Printers are still terrible. Jams. The one thing I tech support that I straight up refuse to support. HP, specifically. My arch nemesis. I've been working for a company that unpacks, sets up, and delivers printers for about 6 months now. Can confirm. They know exactly when you're having a bad day, and they will stop working straight out of the box. Fixing them is kinda fun though. Can't work. Install the device driver. Installs device driver not compatible. Install the device driver. But this is the right one. You're an HP LaserJet 4. Not compatible. Install it. PC load letter? What the F does PC load letter mean? When I was in college I was trying to print an essay for class and the printer kept spitting out ASCII garbage. I drove to Staples and bought a new printer, smashed the old one with a hammer, and told the new one not to make the same mistake. It was the best printer I ever had. One color runs out, get a new cartridge. New cartridge doesn't work either. Clean print heads, nope. Okay. New print heads, no store has them anymore because the printer is outdated despite being a year old. New printer and new ink cartridges for only that printer. $200 edit based on experience. My last job was running and maintaining a $30K texture printer. Basically a $1,000 Epson print head with a Frankenstein built around it, so it could print out activated ink onto anything. Point was beautiful to work with until it wasn't. I had no training, learned everything on my own, and it could take up to 8 hours to disassemble it to replace a ribbon cable that the corrosive ink would eat through. Point I hated that damn machine, but I now know intimately how printers work, and it's made my life with consumer printers a little easier. I can confirm this. Was a manager for a retail store for a long time, and without fail they will crap the bed. Point printer, having a bad day. I see. Going to lose your mind. If one more thing breaks on you, please hold dies. Does it being possessed by a demon mean it still qualifies as inanimate? The TV remote, you press a button twice, and it thinks you pressed it 100 times. You aim it at the TV, and it thinks you're aiming it at the window. I swear mine queues up commands when it's not pointed perfectly, and then when you finally get it in the right spot it just unloads all of them at once. It is astonishing that with all the technological advancement of the last few decades, that we still live in a world where it's normal to have 4 remotes and only a vague idea of which one does what. Husband just replaced the bedroom remote about 3 weeks ago. This damn thing is like a bad hotel remote. He swears they are the same. I fracking hate this thing. Our granite coffee table. It likes to eat shins and kneecaps, and it doesn't budge a millimeter when it does so. Even if you just barely nick the corner, you're in for a bad day. I have permanent shin dents from it. The phrase granite coffee table makes my shins hurt just thinking about it. Oh yikes, I felt this one. We had one in our terrace and my parents refused to get rid of it until I accidentally hit it with my face and got scraped up really badly. Sounds like a masochist or a table that has more power in the house than you. Bluetooth. Searching. Device not found. Refresh. Searching, frozen. Hit Bluetooth off. Turning Bluetooth off. Bluetooth off. Turn Bluetooth on. Searching. Hid keyboard device. Pairing. You spent 637,473. Yes, connecting. Unsuccessful. Thank you. My super expensive Bluetooth headset for work is supposed to manage both the phone and a computer connection at the same time, but instead decides to F both up when I'm on a call with my boss. My keyboard is pretty old. My dad gave it to me when he got a new one. If it's connected, it doesn't show up in settings, but it works, mostly. More than half the time, it doesn't connect, and pressing the connect button causes my iPad to think it's connected, while not giving any input. Also, the on-screen keyboard refuses to disappear when my keyboard is connected, because my iPad doesn't think there's a keyboard. When the day comes that there is only one phone left on the market with a headphone jack, I will buy that phone regardless of any other features it may or may not have. Apple can pry my wired earbuds from my cold, dead hands. OMG same. My Bluetooth adapter sucks. I have to plug in, unplug, plug in, no telling when it'll connect. I love when my Bluetooth on my car says it's connected, but then when I go to play audio it won't connect. My other fave time is when I turn it on in the settings of my phone when I get in my car and it tells me I'm out of range to connect to the car Bluetooth while sitting in my car. Bluetooth is likely still at the stage that USB was when it first came out. A lot of people used to call USB plug and pray technology. I fucking hate Bluetooth. The sinks with no touch sensors for water and soap at my work point, it's a battle to receive a squirt of soap, and then it's a battle keeping the water running long enough to wash it off. I always end up doing a stupid dance back and forth waving my arms around trying to make it sense me. They are the bane of my existence. They are a technology that is supposed to make our lives better, but actually make them worse. It takes me longer to wash my hands now than it did before. Can't they just put in a foot pedal like at the hospital? Or a bumper at the edge of the counter? A bumper might be a better idea, because not everybody has legs that work. I figured out how to make them work, and TBH, especially with the pandemic, I really prefer them to sinks you have to touch. There are a few sinks at my college that have a button you have to hold down to keep the water running. Washing one hand at a time is a massive pain in the ass, not to mention having to touch the same dirty F button everyone else touched directly after wiping their ass. Haha, I always feel like an idiot using those, and then someone comes to the sink next to you, and it works for them, while you are waving your hands trying to get it work. I can 100% relate. It's annoying and I'd very much rather press or turn the tap for water than to try and keep it on. Some now have dryers as well. One day I'm going to figure out how to use them at Austin Bergstrom Airport. Umbrellas. I hate carrying them around and prefer to have both my hands unoccupied. Slight change in wind and bam, now you have useless junk and you're still wet. I felt this on a spiritual level. I need both my hands ready and available. I hate purses and handbags. Backpacks. Backpacks all the way. I've always said, if it was socially acceptable I'd wear one of those joke umbrella hats. Spoons with different pattern with the others. Going to throw slightly thinner sets of spoons that bend when you scoop ice cream into the pile. How do they get into my home? My silverware drawer. Such a cruelty. For the life of me, I can't figure out what this comment actually means. Is there an S missing somewhere that's throwing me off? My alarm clock. Well, excuse me for doing the exact thing you bought me for. Alarm clock. Latex. I'm allergic to it. Even touching it makes my hand feel it's on fire. I have to be very careful not to touch it, and you'd be surprised the amount of things that have latex in them. Me too. This is so horrible. And most of the time you have no idea what has latex in it until you have a reaction to it. I worked in a preschool while in high school, and we were making igloos out of powdered Tide with the kids, and when that stuff got all over my hands it burned like crazy. I just thought it was because I had sensitive skin and it was laundry soap, so I washed my hands. But once my hands were clear of soap, they were fire truck red and swelling. Both hands burning like the pits of hell. One of my classmates took me to the nurse because my teacher didn't want me going alone. My hands were shaking, and the swelling had reached my wrists and partway up my forearms. The nurse drenched my hands in Benadryl and made me sit in her office for an hour until my hands had returned to normal. Turns out, there's bits of latex in powder Tide which are deactivated when actually used while doing laundry, but because I was playing in it, it was the most severe skin reaction I've ever had. Another time, in high school, we were making a video and my classmate had bought latex balloons. I told him I was allergic, so he kept them away from me in the other room. But, on the day of our practice shoot, the balloon was spread throughout the hallways and I couldn't get away from them. They kept touching me, and I kept batting them away. Then, all the other students kept popping them in the halls. There were no windows, so this filled the halls with all that latex dust and pieces of popped balloons. It got so overwhelming, I was actually struggling to breathe, and my mouth/tongue were going numb. Went to the nurse, she gave me some O2 to breathe, and had me put Benadryl on my lips. Another hour in her office. I told our principal what had happened, and he made an announcement that all balloons had to stay out of my hallways and could only be popped inside. And if any popped inside, the student or students popping them would be punished. Thankfully, no more were popped inside on the actual day of shooting our video, but that was the first, and only, so far, time I've had latex affect my breathing. People have no idea how scary this allergy actually is. I'm 28 and can't use Cling Wrap update, AWW. Thanks for all the messages of support you guys, but I made peace with my incompetence a long time ago XX. I refuse to buy Cling Wrap. Every single time I've attempted to use Cling Wrap has been a failure. It makes me irrationally angry. I'm 31. Couldn't agree more. 32yo. I'm a captain and I can fly 300 people across the Pacific Ocean no problem, but that thing gives me nightmares. Even with that trick of pushing in the sides of the box, I still fail every time. I'm 44, and that crap clings to itself, and not the ballpoint fuck Cling Wrap. That 1 teaspoon in the drawer, that I dislike for no reason at all. Oh yeah, that little one that nobody touches cause it's too arrogant. I'm really showing my age with this one, but landline phones. I hate hearing them ring. I hate the sense of urgency as suddenly I have dropped whatever the F I'm doing to go answer it. For some reason, not answering a landline phone was not an option. I finally convinced my parents to get rid of those earlier this year. It's so peaceful now. The other day I was watching an old Timmy TV series and the landline rang. I immediately felt a horrible surge of anxiety until I remembered it wasn't my problem anymore. Goddamn pencil sharpeners. I swear every time I use one the lead, I know it's not actually lead but it just sounds right, always snaps out, and it's so annoying. Sometimes I actually use scissors to whittle it to a point. According to a drawing teacher I had who is still a working artist well into her 80s, poor quality wood is the reason that pencils don't sharpen correctly. The wood splinters easily, making it tear and break the core, while sharpening point. Most pencils are made with terrible garbage wood, even expensive products like Prisma-colored pencils. Once you use a pencil made with good quality wood, you can immediately tell a difference when sharpening. So, I know that doesn't help, just know it's probably the wood and not you. My Roomba it randomly follows scheduled cleaning and it regularly gets stuck on a cliff for no reason, and then bothers me at work with texts pleading for help. It also has issues finding its damn base to recharge and gets wedged under that one chair. It is by far the stupidest smart home device I own. And I own dozens. My cousin gave it to me as a Christmas present, and I swear to this day that she knew it'd be a complete joke and frustrate me constantly. My mission for the next 7 months or so is to find something that seems great at first, but that will annoy the ever living F out of her daily, so I can gift it to her this Christmas. I'm open to suggestions. The Screaming Roomba Michael Reeves built. Looks like a normal Roomba from above, but screams in agony every time it bumps into something. The fact that it texts you at work for help seems really cute to me for some reason. Does your cousin have kids? If so, get her child a doll that lights up and sings. And if I don't empty mine every few minutes, it gets full and just drives around without doing anything. OMG, I yell at mine all the time. It gets stuck in the weirdest places. You'd think it would learn to simply turn around and go back. Spider webs. It's so annoying when my face runs into one. Printers. Me has a black and white document printer. I want magenta. Me, but it's black and white printer. Fuck you, I want magenta. Laser printer. It's more expensive upfront, but it won't use color cartridges for a black and white print, and they're a lot less bulky in general. I recommend Brother brand. Sewing machines. They are my enemy. If I may give a piece of advice that I discovered by accident, it is that you need to purchase at least a $300 machine if you ever want to have a hope. Anything less than that is endless fighting. I got so tired of my wife freaking out about her sewing machine that I bought her a $700 one, and it never had a problem. From that point forward, everything she sewed worked the first time. I will concede that that was way too much to spend. I'm on my third borrowed machine this quarantine, 4 if you count my own original broken one. Mine is a solid workhorse from the 70s that I can't fix, and the borrowed ones have all been light plastic pieces of crap with nest making bobbyines. Friends have been so kind to lend them, but they're really not very good. Shower curtains. Especially the plastic ones. They're always all over me when I'm most vulnerable. Can't stop touching me. Won't stop, even when I tell them to. Fucking pervs. Do y'all not know about curved shower rods? That foldable mini table. I swear it has a vendetta against me. Area rugs. You step on them the wrong way and poof, it's fucked forever. Good luck getting it back in that perfect spot again. Mine like to migrate across the floor. I just nailed mine down. That crap ain't going anywhere. Door knobs, man. I have a near constant bruise on my forearm from smacking into them. Fitted bed sheets. Although great while on the bed, they turn into bitches when comes the time to fold them and put them away. I learned how to fold them correctly while briefly working front desk at a hotel. Surprisingly easy, but it's hard to explain with just words. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on it though. Basically you tuck the corners into each other as you fold. The shower control point. The water temperature is either too hot or too cold. Can rarely find that sweet spot in the control setting where it's just right. The Bluetooth on my car stereo. What's the fucking point on turning on auto pairing if you never even bother to search for my phone when I turn the car on and I have to click your connection on my phone to remind you that it fucking exists? It mostly works, but I swear it consents when I'm already feeling off because it always chooses days that I've had an awful work day or am feeling sick or whatever to not work. Auto flushing toilets. Fuck those things. I swear they just want to splash water on my ass all throughout my crap, and then finally they decide to not flush when I actually need them to. Door knobs. Do you have perpetually greased hands? Did you know that licking door knobs is illegal on other planets? Motherfucking mannequins. Creepy F things. Everybody gangster until the mannequin ain't inanimate no more. I hate mannequins. I always try avoid them in the stores. This goes for poorly kept animatronics / mannequins at theme parks or museums. Hate those things. Gives me the creeps. There's a store that I pass on my way home every day that likes to reposition their mannequins way too often. Now I have to say I admire their creativity and dedication, but these mannequins ain't the type with an actual face and hair and everything on them. They're too damn real. So every time I've gotten used to the current setup, the employees change it up again and scare the crap out of me because I think there are people in there looking at me after closing time when nobody should be in the store. Please. It always takes me at least 2 tries to unlock the door. Anything I try to move. Example, cardboard boxes will roll when I want them to slide, somehow become magnetic, and get caught on everything when I try to simply move them past stuff, etc. Whatever makes a simple task harder. USBs. Why are they always in the most inconvenient spot to plug in, and why do I have to try 13x to plug it in? USB-C is an absolute treasure. I recently figured out why USBs never go in when you're not looking at them. It's cause we all don't want to F up the USB, so the first time you probably get it right but put it in at an awkward angle and you feel that resistance and think you got it wrong and don't want to break it, so you switch sides, get it wrong for real, and then look at it and get it right. Once you know what's the right side, you have the confidence to put it in with enough force. Even if you put it at an awkward angle, you just adjust it and it goes in. Printers, my goodness. I've been waiting for the iPhone of printers where everything just works and connects and prints for I don't know how many years now. We have the technology. Why do sucky printers still exist? Buy a medium priced laser printer, even, or especially if you print only every other week or month or so. I got my brother laser printer 5 years ago. So far there was no paper jam and it works flawlessly with third-party toner. Those cheap ass inkjets which are cheaper than replacement ink can rot in hell. Because you eventually get sick of it and buy a new one. The sides of door frames. I'm pretty broad-shouldered and manage to bump into them quite often. Super creepy Alexa things, or whatever they're called. All of them. Amazon Echo. Google Home. Anything waist high in the kitchen that rips my headphones out. Also, headphones with cords. I run the headphone cords down my back, inside my sweatshirt. There's a single teaspoon in our cutlery drawer that's slightly shorter than the rest and I have an irrational hatred towards it for no good reason. Dolls, do I have to explain? Can openers, thank God for ink pulls. Came to post this. I had the same old garage sale can opener for over a decade. The ones before that belonged to my parents or grandparents and were probably older than I am. Naturally I assumed they are just universally terrible, awkward, dull, loose-fitting and poorly engineered. Mine finally would not work at all, period, so I actually bought a new one. It was like a luxury car. Works flawlessly every time. Zero effort required. No more hand cramps. No more 45 seconds of rage-inducing frustration per can. Buy yourself a nice can opener, my friend. It's a surprisingly good investment. We've got one spoon in our drawer that is different from the others. I refuse to use it. My F shower curtain. I'll be minding my own business and that fucker decides to reach out and wrap around my leg for no damn reason. God, I hate it so much. Rolls of tape or toilet paper. I can never get it started without tearing the crap out of it and being wasteful. Walls, I run into the mallet. My door that can't close properly. Pots and pans, they're just so damn loud. All I wanna do is eat an egg, not wake up the whole house. My computer. Jumbo office copiers. They are the devil. Get jammed. Print 1000 copies when you just wanted 10. Can't print labels. Horrid. Wires and cables in every way, shape, or form. Fuck endpoint also cellophane foil. Ugh, my soldering iron. Long story short, absent-minded grabbed the wrong end. Alexa. Bedtime is a straight up argument with an appliance at this point. Traffic lights. I drive to work around 4 AM. Sit at 75% of the lights on the way and wait for no traffic going the other way. Wish they'd switch them all to blinking overnight. Roombas don't sit right with me. A radio. We just don't operate on the same frequency. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more. See you next time.